Hey Pav,
Hi Jay, how's it going?
it's going great, and we are dialed up for Evo live in Dubai, his fourth session, and we have three amazing presenters here for you today. Bronwyn Joyce from Australia, founder and CEO of Education Elevators. She's here.
We also have Kecia McDonald from Hawaii, who is a curriculum coordinator at an intermediate school there.
And we have Evin Schwartz from New York City, founder and CEO of Beluga. We have three great presenters for Evo live in Dubai. So remember,
Inspire.
don't require.
Thank you very much to Shay and Pav there for the great introduction. Happy Teacher Appreciation Week, everyone. Welcome to Agency Ed Talks live from Dubai, created for teachers and parents who are currently at home with their children and students to help bring some insights to you about education, thoughts and ideas from a local and global perspective to help you with your needs that you're currently facing. My name is Evin. I've been in education for almost 20 years now, believe it or not. And I am currently enjoying everything that comes with remote learning and homeschooling with my two little angels. Feel free to follow me on Twitter. Obviously, subscribe as well to this channel if you feel that this is beneficial to you. And if you'd like to continue with the conversation on Twitter at the hashtag AgencyEdTalksLive. We are very fortunate to have Beluga supporting us with this show this evening. Learn all about the world with the world. You can find what Beluga is all about. It's a great platform on beluga.org. Now, similar to the previous show, we are going to have a big question that centers the conversations during this show. Tonight's big question is all about mental health awareness. How can we best promote positive mental health? This show and the next show on the 23rd of May will be supporting mental health awareness. This is the month of mental health awareness and, of course, the hashtag Same Here campaign. Our guests are from all four corners of the globe. We are literally going to be globe-trotting. We have our very first guest. We're going to be traveling all the way to Traralgon in Australia to catch up with Bronwyn Joyce. She is the founder and CEO of Education Elevators. She's also a UN SDG advocate. After that, we're going to be traveling all the way over to Hawaii, somewhere I haven't been to yet, but I can't wait to visit, to catch up with Kecia McDonald. She's the curriculum coordinator at one of the international schools there in Hawaii. And then we're going to travel over to New York City to catch up with Evin Schwartz. He is the founder and CEO of Beluga. All three of these guests are very much in the field of education, and it's going to be great to hear what they have to say about the topic this evening. We also have the resident game on this show called Crack the Code. We have our round one participants already registered. If you would like to register for round two, which will be coming up later in the show, please feel free to go to this link above, evohanan.com/edtalkslive. You can also find the link in the description of the show below. We've got a new innovation to try and increase engagement from all of the viewers. It's called the Wonder Wall. The Wonder Wall is a place where everyone who's viewing can contribute towards the big question. It also means that those opinions and ideas are going to be stored and can be later shared after the show. It's going to be in a Padlet format. It actually looks like this at the moment. We've had a few of our guest speakers contribute and some of our local community supporting the show, and they've already started populating the actual wall itself. If you want to contribute, feel free to do so at padlet.com/edtalkslive/same here. So, without further ado, I would like to welcome our very first guest, Bronwyn Joyce. She is someone I have a lot of respect for. She does a lot of work with the UN SDGs, particularly SDG 4. I was fortunate enough to have contact with her last summer, and since then we've stayed in close contact, and I really admire her work. So, Traralgon, Australia. Bronwyn, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you, and thank you for having me, Evo.
Yeah, no problem at all. Bronwyn, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so at the moment I'm wearing quite a few hats. So I'm CEO, obviously, of Education Elevators, where I'm consulting with schools around implementing the best learning environment that we can for children in this remote learning situation, and especially around supporting the mental health of parents and students to get them through this situation. And alongside of that, I'm lecturing out at Federation Uni Australia, and dealing with my own students, 170 of them, that are having their own challenges with online learning as well. So it's really busy time at the moment for me.
Sounds extremely busy, spinning a lot of plates. You sound like you got your hands full. So, I mean, with all of the work that you do in education, I know that you're a strong advocate for supporting positive mental health. Tell us a little bit about that work and how you currently do that.
I think what we've seen when this remote and online learning has unfolded is that we were thrown into a crisis situation that a lot of schools weren't prepared for. And so what we've actually seen is educators go backwards almost, in a way, where they've been sending pages and pages of information out to parents. We're seeing work packs being photocopied that wouldn't be something that we would regularly see happening in schools. And we've seen teachers shy away from that face-to-face contact, whether it be through Zoom or Google Meet, and they've not stepped up to that kind of learning for their students. And so what we're seeing is overwhelmed parents, and we're also seeing students who in some schools are reporting that they're working 7 days a week because there's so much work they're being handed out that they're really struggling with what the expectations that have been placed on them. So we've really been working on the schools that I work with, that Alex Keeler from the US says to us 90 minutes in this environment is enough for students to be learning at home. And we're also seeing students go from a traditional classroom of chairs and tables to a flexible learning environment at home. And so, but we've shifted from teaching them in a flexible way. So we've got this catch-22 almost on how can we be supporting these students at home. And I think a lot of schools are learning very, very quickly that parent contact is very important, need to be contacting parents regularly. They need to be having contact with their students around well-being, because we have a lot of at-risk kids as well out there who we need to, when they're in the school environment, we need to be keeping in contact with those students. So, but we're also seeing teachers who are overworked and really frustrated at the moment as well. So we're seeing all areas needing some mental health support at the moment, Evo.
I completely understand that. So, I mean, with all of that that's going on, it would be great to have like 3 tips for all of our viewers on how you feel they could best support positive mental health.
So my 3 tips are: don't make the day all about learning. So set time limits. Maybe it's an hour in the morning that's going to work. So I think that's really important. My tip number 2 is short, sharp sessions with some kind of positive stimulation in between. And this is for teachers and students and parents, go for a walk, play a game, have kids colouring in, bake a cake, but get away from that stimulated hardcore learning into some hands-on. And the other one is centre on resources that are available in the home. So when we're planning, we need to be thinking about what resources the kids can be accessing in the home environment. So making picture frames out of cereal boxes and lots of really cool stuff that we could be doing instead of worksheets.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for sharing your insights, Bronwyn. It's fairly late in Australia at the moment, I believe.
1:15 in the morning.
Wow. We are very grateful for you for sharing your insights and your thoughts. Go get yourself some sleep. Bronwyn, thank you very much.
My absolute pleasure. Thanks, Evo.
Thank you. So that was great to hear some of the insights from Bronwyn Joyce, someone I obviously have a lot of respect for in the education community. Talking about education communities, we've been supported and it keeps growing every show. So we're very fortunate to have a range of education communities that are fairly active on both Twitter and podcast channels. I'm just going to quickly go through them. The Crazy PLN, they just had a chat actually about what it's going to be like to return back to school. That's just taken place. Great insights shared there. Barbara Bray's Rethink Learning. Staff Room Podcast, Shay and Pav, who you've just seen with the intro. Learn by Layers with Phil Cotton, who was on our previous show, all about developing ideas using 3D printing. KDSL, great global supporters. The Lesson Impossible podcast that I was very fortunate to feature on very recently. A Better Classroom, the EduTable team over on the West Coast. We Are One Team by Dustin in the US. The Inspire Citizens team, always a great support. The Designcast podcast by Jason Regan over in Seoul. The Ed Talk Live show that obviously takes place on YouTube as well, led by Tammy and one of her colleagues. And the Tiny Voice Revolution that takes place to support all the voices on Twitter, led by Toria on Twitter. Guys, thank you very much for your support. It's great to see so many educators doing so many good, positive things for everyone. Talking about being grateful, we have a couple of messages from educators from around the world, sharing some thoughts and a little bit of gratitude that's been produced by Chris Quinn, one of my very good friends. Take a look.
Hello, Chris Quinn here. Using the Twitter handle GratefulEDU64, because 64 was a great year, and the hashtag GratefulEDU, I and other educators try to share gratitude globally. I have some friends who would like to share some special words of thanks right now with some very deserving people.
Barbara Bray, thank you teachers for all that you're doing with home learning and remote teaching. You're amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mom, for helping for online learning. We love you, Mom.
Hi, my name is Tara Desiderio, and I'm an elementary school principal. And I just want to say thank you to all of our students out there who continue to do amazing things each and every day. We are so proud of you.
Jen Machin. Parents, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for doing your best. Thank you for being a huge part of this incredible learning journey that we're all on together. I appreciate you. I admire your strength. I'm grateful.
Well, hello, my name is Vernon Wright, otherwise known as The Right Leader, speaker, and entrepreneur, and of course, founder of the Zero Apology Zone, which you see here behind me. And I just want to go ahead and take a moment to say thank you for your leadership. Thank you for being true servant leaders, and thank you for all that you do to not only help students, parents, families, and your staff, but also to fellow leaders.
Thank you very much for all of those messages from everyone in that video. We really appreciate the positivity that you're spreading. Going over to our next guest, Kecia McDonald. She's over in sunny Hawaii. Really looking forward to seeing what it's going to be like over there and hearing some of her insights. Kecia, how are you doing?
Sorry, what was that?
How are you doing?
No, I'm doing great, thank you. It's always a good day here in Hawaii. A little bit early, a bit dark outside, but otherwise, yeah, very lucky to be here.
What time is it there?
It is. It's about 5:18 in the morning.
5:18 in the morning. So we've gone from one extreme, being really late at night for Bronwyn, right to the other, where you guys are obviously just starting your day. I mean, truly global. So, Kecia, tell everyone a bit about what you do.
Well, I currently serve as the curriculum coordinator at Kealakahe Intermediate, and I'm a mom. I'm a very proud public school educator, and I'm also a certified health teacher for grades K to 12. So, I mean, I serve my school in whatever capacity possible, so I bounce around a lot, but just always involved in the community, involved in my school, and obviously I'm very happy to promote health. Very
good, and a great supporter for everything that seems to happen on Twitter. So thank you very much for all your support. You've been with us since the very beginning. So you just quickly mentioned about your work with promoting positive mental health. Can you share a little bit about that with everyone?
Yeah, Bronwyn touched on the fact that we're in a crisis now, but for me, again, it's not about there's 1 month of mental health awareness or, we're in a crisis. We have to think of it. For me, mental health is something we should always be dealing with. So, I really help promote positive mental health just first of all by honoring and valuing the role of mental health in our overall well-being. So, I'm a health teacher. When people hear health teacher, they immediately think, oh, health class, that's like sex ed and looking at the black lungs. So I know I don't have to smoke cigarettes, right? But, I spent more than 50% of my course time teaching social and emotional and mental health because, it's a large aspect of our total well-being. And I think it does get ignored. I think our society understands if you have a broken arm, if you have a breakout in a rash, if you have a toothache, that you should be seeking, health. You should be seeking help from a health professional. But, statistics will show you that in some cases, only 20% of young people who actually have a diagnosable, anxiety disorder will get treatment. And we have to start young with our people understanding what is good mental health, what does it look like, and if I'm experiencing something other than that, what am I doing? So for example, I'll give you a quick example. In my class, I would start with, what does a healthy person look like? And now Kona is the home of the International Ironman Championship. So we have a lot of triathletes in my community. So, the kids are like, oh, the guy that runs, the guy that cycles, the guy that is a weightlifter. And I'd say, well, okay, if that marathon runner goes home and is sitting home and is stressed and is lonely and doesn't have anyone to reach out to, is that person healthy? If that weightlifter who's all swole and looks great, if that person is kind of like aggressive and can't keep healthy relationships and thinks poorly of others, is that person healthy? So I would start by kind of challenging, the kids' idea of what is health, and getting it away from that, just focusing on that physical health aspect and making sure that they understand that mental health piece is incredibly important. So, in my community, that's one way that you can promote mental health, just making sure that you honor and you value and you make sure that kids understand I have the right, to have good mental health. It's just as important as if I break my arm, and I have the right to, understand myself and what I need if and when the time comes. So I also start working on this interrelationship, of signs. So like give the kids the example. Oh, I get hangry. You know, when I'm really hungry, I get angry. And then you kind of help them detangle, you know, well, if I eat a Snickers bar or whatever, you know, am I going to feel better? But if I eat and I'm still upset or something's still troubling me, you know, maybe I can start working on communicating that piece. So, you know, if they can understand that in a relationship and they can understand themselves, then that when the time comes, they know better how to ask for help. They'll recognize the signs that, you know, I'm not just hungry, I'm not just tired, there's actually more going on here. So, you know, those are ways also just working with the kids, working with the youth and my own colleagues, you know, because staff health is also very important. So, you know, just helping kids determine some of those differences between external and the internal workings of, you know, true mental health and true total well-being. So
absolutely, that's great. I mean, you've already started sharing some of your insights. So, is there anything? Is there one other thing you'd like to share that you have that you would just like to give, even as a message to any of the viewers regarding how we can support mental health?
Well, again, you know, I think this idea that it's not just one day, it's not just 1 month, it's always. We talk a lot about how, you know, we're moving in the 20th century. Everyone needs to be a digital citizen teacher, right? You can't just say, I don't teach that, because we all need those skills. And I would say, you know, we're all a health teacher. You know, we're all a health teacher. 70% of mood and food disorders, psychoses will appear in teens and young adults. And, you know, some of that has to do with human development, of getting hormones or brain development, but some of it's trauma and some of it's adverse childhood experiences. And so, you know, we're all on the front lines. And are we counselors and psychiatrists and psychologists? No, we're not. But we can educate ourselves. We can know the signs, and we can help our kids, you know, when the time comes. So again, I just encourage everyone, you know, be a health teacher. It's not just the weird stuff you remember from middle school. You know, we all have a role. We're all on the front line. We can all be kind of mental health first responders in this case to kind of assess and see what's going on and help our kids. So that would be my other big message or tip for you.
That's great. I mean, at the end of the day, you're right. We are all responsible for our children, our colleagues, and our students and our children's well-being. So, although this is the month to concentrate, focus a little bit more on mental health, it is definitely an ongoing thing. Kecia, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your time with your day. It's only about to start. Stay tuned, and let's see how the rest of the show goes. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was Kecia from Hawaii sharing some great insights. So, crack the code. Our in-show game is about to start. We have a large bunch of people who have entered crack the code. Have you picked the right code to crack the safe? For this round, there is a $50 Amazon gift card that is up for grabs. Pick a color, pick a number, pick a letter. Here we go for the first spin. Good luck, everyone. Okay, guys, so it has landed on red. So everyone who chose red is still in the game. Okay, this is going to be interesting because there's a couple of people in red who've chosen the exact same code as well. So let's see how that turns out. Okay, I'm not sure what's happened there. Here we go. Oh, it's just reset. So, guys, just give me 1 minute. I am going to have to reset the wheel with the numbers. The website I'm using, which I did mention on our first show, is called Wheel of Names. It's a great website to use to try and select things with children. And then you can make things custom. Obviously, you've just seen me do it. So, numbers, reds, you're in the game. Let's see. Oh, wow. So it's landed on red 7. Okay. We have a few people who are still in the game with red 7. So we will have to actually go to letters, keeping things colourful. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so it is C. So red 7 and C would mean that Louise, who actually chose the closest code, would be the winner. I'm just going to see if I can give Louise a quick call. It's a lot. It's obviously getting closer every single time we play the game. So let's see.
Vodafone voicemail.
Oh, it's gone to answer phone. So, Louise, if you're out there listening, well done. $50 Amazon gift card is going to be coming your way. Okay, so our next guest, our final guest, is the founder and CEO of Beluga, Evin Schwartz. He's going to be joining us from New York. Evin, how are you doing?
Hey, Evo, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. So, how are things where you are at the moment?
You know, it's definitely the eye of the storm. I think on Saturday I got the best slot out of Kecia and Bronwyn, though. It's only about 11:30, so we're up and ready and hanging in there as best as we possibly can.
Cool. So, tell us a little bit about Beluga.
Yeah, so Beluga started about 3 years ago, and really the big picture mission was how we making education accessible, impactful, and equitable to the next generation, and really looking around the world and forming bridges instead of barriers. So our entire platform really revolves around teacher and student communication and connection. But once that bridge has been built, how do we actually push them into digital learning environments? And our entire platform really focuses on a collaborative classroom experience. So I think this online learning movement, has definitely caught most people off guard. It's something that we've seen traditionally held in a classroom, where now the classroom is kind of turned into the bedroom, the kitchen, the living room, and so on. Our entire platform really revolves around content first. So we work with different organizations, experts, educators around the world to really source real world learning that's connected to core standards, curriculum, and then finally giving students and teachers the ability to connect, communicate, and collaborate through that content, not only linked to their core subject areas, but also how are they creating impact and action within their own community. One of the really neat things, and I heard you mention it a few times earlier, is everything in Beluga revolves around the SDGs. So all of our content is connected to at least one SDG, and really looking at how a learner can take that wealth of knowledge and kind of make something special out of it.
That's great. So you are now a member of the Same Here movement, something that we're obviously supporting. Can you tell us a little bit about that movement?
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate the support from everyone. So mental health has always been a foundation within our platform. We work with some great mental health organizations all around the world. One of our key partners here in New York is called Same Here. It was started by Eric Cusin, a good friend of mine who faced his own mental health throughout his personal career and really got to a point where it was all about just opening up and sharing as opposed to traditional medicine or practices. So from that experience in his own life, he really dedicated himself to saying, same here, right? We're going to start sharing our stories and putting it out there for people to communicate and understand and relate to one another. So we've always kind of been a content partner with Eric, sharing his great work. A few weeks ago, honestly speaking with them and just looking at the outlook in education, and everyone is burnt out. Now, I don't care what country, city, state, religion, race, ideology, everyone is feeling this in some way, shape, or form. So our goal was to really say, to the education community, same here, let's not focus so much on standards, testing, and curriculum now. Let's focus on ourselves and really heal everyone in our own communities. So what we've been able to do really in the last 3 weeks alone is bring together different organizations, experts, educators, and even students that are hosting everything from lesson plans to panels, to keynotes, to interviews, held directly within Beluga. There's new sessions released every single day. This is a completely free initiative for the entire education community. And I think Kecia nailed it before, where mental health is not just a one-day thing or a one-month thing. We're really looking at this as, how is this a launch pad? And I think that's one of the biggest things that the education community needs to come together on is once schools start reopening. North America, I don't know, honestly, when it's going to reopen. But once that happens, every kid's going to come to school with something different in their backpack, right? That's kind of how our team has been phrasing this. Some might come from great homes. Some might come from homes of abuse. Some might come from homes where there's a casualty and fatality. So we have to be ready for this and start opening up these conversations and these lines really to understand that mental health is the foundation, right? Like everyone has a lot on their plate, but without that plate being mental health, the other subject areas do not matter. So we're really passionate about this cause, and we're looking at May as kind of a launch pad. We brought together about 50 different organizations worldwide that are hosting sessions, and really, ideally, hopefully, we'll look at May as the starting point where throughout the summer and then into the new school year, we're able to utilize all these resources from organizations around the world.
Absolutely. So with all that in mind, could you leave 3 tips for our viewers on how you feel you can best promote positive mental health?
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I mean, Bronwyn and Kecia nailed it before too. I think the big 3 things are listen, share, and seek out. Right? That's just what we've kind of identified over the last few years is listen, we have to be there for each other, right? This is not a competition. There is no level of mental health that is ignorable. We have to understand and be willing to accept those hard conversations. At the same time, sharing, right? We're all going through a ton of stress. Evo, I know you, just like us, you jump on that treadmill in a sense and you never get off.
Yeah.
So it's constant pace and it's difficult to keep up. And I know teachers and administrators, parents and students are feeling that as well right now. Right? By 10 p.m., you're still on a computer and working. Right? So we have to be willing to share our story and be vulnerable. Right? Understand that, like Kecia said before, if you have a broken leg and you walk into school, well, you get a hall pass and it's okay to show up, a few minutes late to class. We have to take that same mentality when dealing with mental health. And then Bronwyn made a great point too, is seek out information. And the information is broad, right? And that's what was our goal in bringing together so many different communities, right? Practitioners, experts, educators, or just peers are all experiencing different things. So find your community, understand who's been there before, and who's willing to support. I think that's one of the biggest things in the healing process in so many words.
100%. Well, I mean, that we've spoken a lot about ideas, and I think we should start something right now. How about we start a movement right now and possibly do the sharing in our next show on the 23rd? What do you think?
I think it's great.
Okay, so I had a Twitter chat last week, and I put this idea forward to Laura Brower, who is my co-host on the chat. And from there, I thought, why not bring it in? So I'm going to let's call it Throw the Mic, right? Hashtag Throw the Mic. So I'm going to speak into this microphone right now. And what I'm going to do is throw it over to you. Hey, Willie, you're going to be able to, I hope you're a good catch. You're good at catching. And I'll start the message. Once you've caught it, you can go into record mode after the show. And then let's see where the microphone ends up, and let's just see how that message goes. So I'm going to start off the message. Hashtag Throw the Mic. This is my message to everyone out there. Although you don't think it's true, it's actually okay to not be okay. So with that in mind, I'm going to throw the mic over to you. Evin, are you ready for this one, mate?
I got you, man.
There you go. Okay, so Evin, it'll be interesting to see what you do with that mic and who you pass it to next. Thank you very much for your time and your insights. We've got a catch up, I think, next week as well. So we're looking forward to connecting with you there. Stick around for the next round of Crack the Code. Catch you soon.
Thanks a lot, Evo.
All the best. Okay, so second round of Crack the Code. We've had some new people who have joined in the game, which is always nice to see. Last time we had the winner with red 7C, and it was Louise from the UK. Let's see how it goes this time. Good luck to everybody out there. There is another $50 Amazon gift card up for grabs. Good luck, everyone. Okay, so it is landed on blue. So all the blues are still in the game. This could be anyone's right now. We've got them from all over the place. We've got them from the Wirral on the UK, Bury in the UK as well. We've got some from the US as well. So this is going to be quite interesting. Okay, numbers. So it's landed on 3. Okay, so this could be either one. Let's have a quick look. Actually, it sits with one person right now. We don't even need to go to the next round. It sits with one person. I'm just going to give that person a call. Okay, it is Lee from the Wirral in the UK. So let's see. Oh, it's gone to the message phone again. So, Lee in the UK from the Wirral, good luck to you and well done. A $50 Amazon gift card voucher will be coming your way. So, we spoke a little bit about the new concept of the Wonderwall, sharing your ideas. Let's have a quick look at how it looks at the moment. We can see that we've had a string of new additions right across the top. Which is great to see. This you can obviously find at the link that was shared just before, padlet.com/edtalkslive/same here. It will also be available as a download in a couple of days. That link will be available in the show description. So we're coming to the end of the show. I would like to thank our 3 guests. I'd like to thank Bronwyn, Kecia, and Evin, of course, for their insights about promoting positive mental health. Thank you very much. I'd also like to thank 2 of my supporters who've really helped out, Mr. Chris Quinn from Toronto and Mr. Evan Whitehead, who's in Illinois. They have been great supporters of the show and really helped out with some of the aspects regarding production and support. I'd like to thank the sponsor, the supporter of the show, Beluga, who have been good and really supported what we're doing, especially with the Same Here movement. And they are very much linked to that movement. Great supporters of positive mental health. Keep doing your great work, Beluga, and thank you very much. Our next show is going to be on the 23rd of May. It's a Saturday. It's going to be exactly the same time. We're going to be staying on positive messages and talking about how we can get through promoting positive messages during this difficult time. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, As I mentioned before, it's Evo_Hanan. Please subscribe to their channel, tiny.cc/edtalkslive on YouTube. And if you'd like to see what I get up to on Instagram, it is Project Decade. Now, as we are currently in the month of May and we are looking at making mental health a focus, we need to also understand what the gravity of the current situation that we're in. This is something that we're going to be focusing on in the next show. So it's really important that we're aware of what we do. We're aware of the people around us. We listen. We take note. We're receptive to those small kind of mini emotions and micro emotions. And we try to keep things positive. I'm going to be leaving you with a rather positive message from Toney Jackson. He is a grade 4 teacher in New Jersey. He sent this out on Twitter, and this is a great positive message to share about his experience as a teacher during this time. I'm going to leave you with the message that I always leave you with. Please take care of yourselves and each other.
Happy Teacher Appreciation Week, y'all. I'm a role model every day, bet. I put my soul in every way, yes. I got a whole lot of goals and objectives written on a checklist I haven't slaved yet. Gotta stretch each and every paycheck, just trying to cover these bills and to pay debts. With my blood and my tears and my sweat, and I haven't quit giving in to what I face yet now. Some will pray that I'll fall and will place bets. Already been messing with methods of what I do best, like give another test on test on test, and a whole lot of undue stress, but I love my job. Even though they throw shade and I'm underpaid, I love my job. Even when I'm unsupported, I'm so important, I love my job. Y'all know without me, it wouldn't be no use, so I love my job. Yeah, and you better be happy I do what I do. You say I do it for the benefits. Now the many kids that be getting the spirit when they feeling it. When they change to getting it from it doesn't matter. Or when that feeling ignites Lewis Latimer. Battle the thought of average. What I mean is my mode is a method of what's often seen. Most kids have a habit of grabbing the brass ring, but when it comes down to brass tacks, we make the pragmatic magical. Make the boring and factual practical. Make them have the tools so whatever is over their heads, something they can build a ladder to. That's my job. And even when I'm unsupported, I'm so important. I love my job. Even though they throw shade and I'm underpaid, I love my job. So y'all know without me, it wouldn't be no use, so I love my job. Yeah, and you better be happy I do what I do. Yeah. Just let it ride out.